I'm going to give you the 5 things that I screwed up as a new realtor on my path to being a top producing agent here in Atlanta so that you don't have to learn them the hard way, the same way that I did. The first thing that I really screwed up is I didn't have a clear lead generation plan. I had an idea. I thought I was going to run some ads and that those ads would just magically convert into buyers that wanted to pay me, rather wanted to get me paid when they were going out and they were buying homes. I had no clear plan from start to finish. It is the easiest thing to do to sit down and iron out, here's exactly how I'm going to be getting my new clients. If you're a new young agent, your sphere is probably off of the table. Most of your peers are probably not in the market to buy homes, just speaking generally. So you're probably gonna need some sort of detailed plan. That can be running open houses, which is something I'm a big advocate of. That can be going after for sale by owners and expired listings. That requires a bit more training because that's very competitive, because those are sellers that are putting their hands up saying, I'm wanting to sell right now. So that's very, very competitive and takes a little bit more skill. That can be running ads. The barrier to that is that takes a little bit of money to get into, or that can be joining a team that's going to be giving you leads, and that's going to be probably at the expense of a little bit of a commission. In my opinion, I think it's something that's totally worth it just so that you can get the reps. I would probably recommend that to a new agent, but you need to have some sort of plan on how you're going to be getting new clients. The worst thing in the world is sitting there and looking at your CRM and realizing you have nothing there. You have no dollars in the pipeline. You probably have rent to pay, bills to pay. It's not a good feeling. I would not recommend getting to that point, even though you probably will be at some point in the journey, but I would do everything I could to avoid being in that situation. The second thing that I did wrong is I had no mentor, and this is not me telling you to go out and pay thousands of dollars for mentorship from someone, but you need to go out and find someone who has been in your position. They don't need to be at the top of the world in terms of real estate. They just need to be a couple years ahead of you to where they can look back and say, hey, here's some of the things that I messed up. Here's some things that I would do better. And they can actually help you as it relates to this lead generation plan. They can help guide you in the right direction, assuming this is a mentor that's actually producing in real estate. It is something that I would highly, highly recommend, and something I did not do, which is why I made all these mistakes on my own in the first place, because I didn't know what questions to ask. I didn't know where to go, didn't know what was important, what wasn't important. This can be someone that's in your office. If you go around your office, there's probably going to be an agent that's willing to help out someone that's new, especially if they see that you've got the initiative. You might remind them of themselves a little bit, and they're like, hey, I'd love to help that person along. Maybe this is someone on the internet that you see that is a real estate agent that you're like, oh wow, they look like they're doing pretty good numbers. I probably wouldn't go after Ryan Serhant. He's probably not going to mentor you, but someone that's a few steps ahead of you, I would highly recommend it. You would be shocked at how many people are eager and willing to help out those that are a little bit below them in terms of the progression of their career. At the end of the day, most people want to see other people win, and this is actually something that I go over in pretty good depth in a free 5-day email course that I've got. You can just drop your email right down below, and I go over how to get a mentor in depth, because at the end of the day, I want to see you win. The third thing that I royally fucked up when I was a new agent was I was scared of the phone. I thought that a lot of my lead conversion was going to take place over email and text message, and that just wasn't the case, and I learned that lesson the hard way. Once I finally got over the fear of getting on the phone and making the phone calls, I actually went back and calculated. I think I lost over $50,000 in commissions between different clients that were at one point interested in buying a home, and because I wasn't on the phone with them, I was just trying to text them or send them emails or whatever, they wound up working with other agents, and that really stings. That is a brutal feeling to go, wow, I could have made a $10,000 or $15,000 check on this deal, and instead I got nothing just because I was scared of the phone. A lot of this, in my experience, comes from not knowing what to say or what tonality to use, what scripts to use, how you need to be following up, and that's okay. The mentor that I mentioned earlier, they'll help you get over all of those barriers, because you've got to get rid of the fear of the phone, especially if, again, you want to go into the circle prospecting of for sale by owners. It just won't happen over text message. It's just never going to happen. So if you're a new realtor, you have to get over the fear of the phone. You get on the phone with these people, and that's where you can set appointments and ultimately turn leads into clients. The fourth thing that I did categorically wrong when I was a new agent is I didn't specialize at all. It was not until much further down the line I decided I needed to specialize in something, and now almost all I do is new construction. That's the only thing that I do. Now I'm on the sales side. You can do new construction on the buy side. You can sit down and know everything about a new home build from start to finish. Research all of the home builders that are in your area so that you know front and back everything about the company, what they build, the price points they build, what their process is. And all of this is going to not only, one, boost your knowledge base so that when you're communicating with prospective clients, they're going to see, wow, this person really knows what they're talking about, and it's going to make them feel much more trusting of working with you as a new realtor. But secondly, it's going to destroy your imposter syndrome. At the end of the day, you fall back onto your level of training. If you start to get in front of clients and you're just winging everything, you're going to make a fool of yourself. It's going to be very embarrassing and you're going to lose business that way. So if I could go back and tell myself one thing, it would probably be to specialize and say, look, I do just condos, I do just this neighborhood, I do just new construction, so that way you have a massive knowledge base and you can actually level the playing field. Because if you are competing with another agent, for example, that's been in the business 10 years, and there's someone that wants to go new construction. If you know everything about new construction, front to back, like the good home inspectors to use in the area, the builders, everything I mentioned before, and the person that's been in the business for 5 years has maybe only done one new construction deal or they haven't, now all of a sudden you're on a level playing field despite the gap in the years of experience. I would highly, highly recommend it. The last thing that I would go back and kick myself for not doing as a new agent would be running open houses. And this can work hand in hand with what I was saying about specialization. If you can try and run every open house possible in a certain neighborhood, you're going to start interacting with buyers and with prospective sellers, if you know how to circle prospect, that are ready or possibly ready to jump into the market, whether on the buy or the sell side. Now, this is an area where you might want to branch out a little bit just so that you can get some of the reps, but there's tons of agents that are out there that they've got listings that if they've got a couple of different listings going at the same time, they can't run an open house for those listings every single weekend if they've got 3 listings. You've only got a certain number of hours in the day. Now, you can reach out to those agents and say, hey, I'd love the opportunity to run an open house for you here at 123 Main Street. Is that something you'd be interested in? Oftentimes people will post in brokerage group chats, like I'm with EXP. We've got a channel in one of the EXP chats that is strictly for open houses. People advertising, hey, I need someone to run an open house. It is fantastic to get reps under your belt interacting with, again, prospective buyers and sellers so that you can start to dissolve away some of that imposter syndrome. A lot of the novelty around interacting with prospective clients will wear off, which is a good thing. You don't want to feel nervous. You don't want to feel on edge when you're talking with people looking at buying or selling. It is the worst thing possible. Get nervous, you're like sweating or whatever. Like that's a surefire way to scare someone off from working with you. And that's also something else that I talk about in the email course. So if you have any interest in learning a little bit more, you can drop your email in the link right down below, and it'll be a free 5-day email course, no credit card required. And it kind of breaks down how to get a mentor, how you can possibly run open houses and actually add value to your mentor so that now they kind of are more invested in your success because you're helping them out. And also I send out an email a week that kind of expounds on some of these topics and talks about you growing your business and how you can ultimately carve out a career for yourself in real estate. As always, I want to see you win. Take care.